Good morning, my name's Jonathan from Mental Help, and today I'd like to talk a little bit about something that I've started to look into and learn about. It's called Retroactive Jealousy OCD. The OCD bit on the end is important. Retroactive Jealousy OCD appears to be kind of a jealousy that you will get if you're in a relationship or you're with a partner, and that jealousy is retroactive in the sense that it's thinking about the past relationship they might have been in. So your jealousy, it's fairly normal retroactive jealousy in its normal form. Because if you're in a relationship with somebody, you might start to think about their past encounters and past relationships, and you start to compare yourself and wonder whether you're better or as good, whatever, in the various different aspects. And those things are fairly normal. But like anything that has OCD linked to it, it becomes abnormal. And by that I mean it starts to really take over your thought process and your mind, and it starts to make your life sour. Now, what I mean by that, we are all human beings, so we're all going to feel jealousy, we're all going to feel envy, we're all going to feel insecurities, and obsessive compulsive disorder, when it's linked to these normal feelings, starts to make everything completely unrational. So retroactive jealousy refers generally to your partner's romantic or sexual past with another partner they've had. These thoughts just start to compound themselves and basically dominate your mind, and they lead to you feeling very unhappy and negative. And I believe, from my own experience, that they are escalated due to low self-esteem and a lack of self-worth. And these are struggles I have and other people have, and we don't talk about them. We keep them locked up inside. We keep them, bottled up. We just hope they'll go away as we get older. But I've learned over the years that they don't go away, and maybe we need to start to look at how we can tackle them and not be ashamed of them. I think we're always embarrassed and scared to say that we're jealous, because jealousy is such a nasty thing, isn't it? And you always think of jealousy as, normally people doing awful things to their partners because they're so jealous, and all these horror stories and blah, blah, blah. But it's normal to feel jealousy, and I believe that talking about these things openly is the only way that we are actually going to confront them. And if you're in a relationship, I've learned in the past that being very open about your issues and your problems with the right person could help you. Obviously, if it's not with the right person, some people will use them and flip them around and start to see that as a weakness you've got and turn it on its head and say, well, you're always jealous. Well, you've told me you're jealous. Well, now if somebody's like that with you, then I suspect that they're possibly not the best person to be with in the first place. But I'm not a relationship expert. It's just common sense. And the worst thing about retroactive jealousy is that you tend to start questioning your partner because you want the relief that we as OCD sufferers know is very temporary and it's not genuine. It's sort of smoke and mirrors, isn't it? Because you're always looking for that relief, you're always looking for that reassurance, you're always looking to touch something 7 times or to check your door to get that temporary relief. And so is the same with this retroactive jealousy OCD. You want to ask your partner, I'm the best, I'm this, you think I'm that, whatever. You want to get that temporary reassurance, but then you start to question it because, we're human, aren't we? We doubt things. And also with retroactive jealousy, people start to really go in detail to the past events that their partners had with a previous lover, romantically, sexually, whatever. Comparatively, I've got buggering twitch. Bugger. God. Right, I'll cut that bit out. So we're trying to compare ourselves, and we want to feel okay, don't we? And I think this comes from the fact that when we're with somebody, and when we meet somebody, we want them to think we're the best, because that's kind of like normal, isn't it? Retroactive jealousy OCD is destructive, and I've experienced it so many times, and I've experienced other things in relationships. That's why I generally seem to keep myself out of a relationship, because I just end up destroying it. I destroy it with obsessive thinking, and then the obsessive thinking leads to obsessive questioning, and I can't stand to even see myself doing that. I've ended relationships with people because I am getting too OCD, or my, as we say with this retroactive jealousy thing, is starting to kick in too much, and I'm starting to really, I'm not stupid, I can see when the other person is struggling and finding it's an issue. And I've never really met anyone who's just wanted to give up. But I've always ended up terminating things purely because I can't cope. And the longer you're in a relationship, the longer it escalates. And the more you see someone frequently, the more the questions come. It's just pure evil. It's really, really unpleasant and horrible. In retroactive jealousy, there are several emotional patterns of unwanted thoughts. One of the primary feelings is fear. Typically, the fear of losing your partner to a previous partner of theirs goes hand in hand with the doubt that they truly love you. So again, those are insecurity issues that we struggle with, and I think we all can have those. Anyone who's got OCD will seem to get anything to a greater extreme. It will bother their mind abnormally and intrusively. Another common behaviour is quizzing your partner on their past. I'm thinking, yeah, I do. I've done that, and that's something that I struggle with. This can lead to arguments. Of course it can. Why? Because your partner doesn't feel that they've done anything to deserve the treatment. Quite rightly so. If you're going out with someone, a new relationship, or a relationship that you've been in for some time, and your partner starts questioning you. I've had it. I haven't got any time for it. I mean, I should be the most patient person, but it kind of like, that's maybe why I understand how someone would feel when I'm questioning them. It's insulting, and it's undeserved. They've done nothing wrong, so why would you start to question them? And then what you do is you start to question them again and again and again. And if they say something that's not consistent with what they say before, guess why? Because they're human beings, and it's not a court of law. They've not revised paperwork to get the speech exactly right. They're just saying what's in their head. And memories are fluid. They don't always seem to remain consistent in our minds. You can think of something, and then later on in life you might think about it again, and it appears totally different. How many times have you been in a relationship and it's a nightmare, and you're thinking, this is terrible, blah, 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 I need to get out of this, we're not getting on, we're always clashing, and then half a year later you think, well, might not even be half a year later, but later on when you're not in the relationship, you think back to the relationship and you see it through rose-tinted spectacles, because you don't see the arguments and the stuff, you just see, oh, that was actually all right. And you remember the highs, you remember the good feeling. And if you're struggling with this type of jealousy, you may make sarcastic or snide or pointed comments to your partner about their romantic past. And that's not nice, and that doesn't get them on your side. Kind of like is a bad thing to do. If you're with a partner and you're in a relationship, you need to be joint, you need to be going in the same direction. I found the best way to deal with things is just be completely honest about your struggles. And you will generally find, if you're completely honest about your struggles, even though it feels embarrassing to tell somebody your weaknesses, even we're meant to be these alpha males, aren't we? And that's all a load of rubbish as well. This alpha male rubbish. It doesn't mean because you've got feelings and you're able to talk to your partner sensitively about the way you struggle that you're not a strong person, that you wouldn't die for someone in your family, or you wouldn't go out to war and fight for them. You wouldn't do something like that. That's this alpha male stuff that you hear nowadays. It's just such a load of rubbish. It's such a lot of people puffing their chests up and talking in a low Batman voice. It's all just rubbish. I think real men generally are people who have got the insight and fortitude and intelligence to be open about feelings and how they are. It doesn't make them weak. It makes, in some ways, it makes them stronger because they're self-aware. They know their limitations and they are able to communicate with their partner. And that's really what a successful life's about. So I think I'm going to wrap this up as an introduction to something that I'm starting to learn about. I'm not an expert at all. I'm wanting to fix some of my problems because I don't want to be on my own all my life. You know, I've got 3 cats now instead of 2. I don't want to turn into a completely mad cat man. Might be going that way, actually, to be honest with you, if I don't get a grasp on this situation. So thank you very much for spending the time with me. Thank you for supporting the channel, and I'll speak to you very soon. God bless.